Hey, what's up ladies and gents, SpoonyPizzas here, back with another eFootball 2024 video. Today we're going to be looking at the FC Bayern Munich Epics and how I would level these players. Kicking things off with Karl-Heinz Rummenigge. So the first thing I look at when I'm sort of leveling a player is what type of player are they? This player is a goal poacher. The next step is to sort of look at their player skills, see what their strengths and weaknesses are. As you can see here, he lacks one-touch passing, he lacks through balls, so he's not going to be a player that's perhaps going to link the play all that well. He is literally, with that first time shot, acrobatic finishing, long range shooting, rising shot, you're going to want to boost the kicking power, you're going to want to boost his attacking awareness to make sure he gets on the end of things, because he is a goal poacher at the end of the day. But he's got some very key AI playing styles there. Amazing run, speeding bullet, incisive run, long ranger. Those do have an impact on the actual gameplay, as I've found out in the past with who was it, Maran I think it was. Yeah, so do take that into consideration. The next step is with these booster cards, you want to apply the boosters to see where the stats are being boosted, because you don't want to over boost someone in a certain area. And I'm going to show you how to level him up just in a second. Next up is Hoeneß, who's a hole player. Again, take that into consideration. You're going to need good ball control, you're going to need good tight possession for a decent hole player. And you can look at his stats here and I can immediately see his finishing is above his passing, so chances are he's going to be more of a goal scorer than a sort of a player that's going to set players up with assists. But we'll take a look at his player skills and we can see here he's got through passing, so he can play the ball through, but he's got first time shot, again long range shooting, soul control, rising shot. Again, it sort of leans towards more of a player that's going to shoot on sight, but that means we're going to have to boost his kicking power because 75 is clearly not enough. But with the booster effect, we're seeing his speed, acceleration, balance and stamina get a nice boost. And then finally Pizarro, a fox in the box, so a completely different type of player and sort of different stats that are warranted to that sort of style. Again, speed and acceleration aren't all that important, so won't worry about those being too low at this moment in time. But if we just take a look at his stats with the booster effect, boosting his kicking power, his physical contact and balance are quite high. That means it's going to be very hard to dispossess him off the ball, so he's going to be able to hold it up quite nicely. His finishing gets a nice boost, as does his ball control. Now taking a look at his player skills, one touch passing, first time shot, so he's going to be able to sort of link that play. Hasn't got the ability to play through balls, but he's got aerial superiority and heading. Take that into consideration, and that's perfect for a fox in the box. He's also got the ability to be a super sub as well, so he can come off the bench, get a boost to his stats and be even more effective. And out of all these players here, I'm also going to show you how to level up this player here, Cherki from Olympic Lyonnais. Looking at his player skills, you can see here he's a very tricky player, but he lacks one touch passing. Hopefully we could perhaps get that through an additional skill, because in my opinion as a creative playmaker that is essential. But he's got chip shot control, he's got double touch, scissor feint, Marseille turn. These are all great for getting in behind the defense and tricking your opponent and getting into one-on-one situations. And with that chip shot control, you can run in, literally get right up close to the goalkeeper, a little loft over the goalkeeper's hands or legs and into the back of the net. So I'm also going to show you how to level up Cherki, because he for me is the most exciting potential wise in this pack outside of the epics. Okay, so let's see how I would boost Karl-Heinz Rummenigge. So I'm going to apply the booster effect here, because that's going to give me a good idea of where I need to put my points. Okay, so after much deliberation, I've opted for these stats here. So I went for 10 for shooting, because with the +2 manager boost, that's going to take that up to 90. 8 for dribbling, because the +2 manager boost is going to take the ball control up to 80 as well. Dexterity 12, because we really had to boost that offensive awareness. That's really important for a goal poacher, which is also going to give him a very nice healthy balance at 86. His physical contact, that's going to be at 81 by the time you get the manager boost, so it's going to be very hard to get off the ball. I went for a lower body strength of 5 to give him a boost to his kicking power mainly, but I'm going to share this information with you on my leveling up guide, is about the speed and acceleration for strikers. I've sort of changed my view on this, and generally I find that a 6-point difference with speed over acceleration is better for strikers, because you're going to push the ball out in front of you, and that's why I opted for lower dribbling this time. And then finally aerial strength, because I want to make him a threat in the air as well. In some ways you could lower the lower body strength and go for a little bit more aerial strength just to get his heading up to 80, because that might be more important. But it really does depend what your style of play is. If you're a player that crosses the ball into the box quite a lot, then you may want to go with 5 for aerial strength and 4 for lower body strength, or 5 for lower body strength and 4 for aerial strength if you're the type of player that like to play more through balls. So that is my leveling of Karl-Heinz Rummenigge. Next up is Hoeneß, and this is again how he looks with the booster effect before I start his leveling. So this is how I would spec him, and I'll give you my reasons below. So 11 for shooting, again with the +2 manager bonus, that's going to give him a finishing of 90. He's a whole player, so he's going to be in and around the box. Had to boost his passing a bit, so I put the spare points that I had available into passing, because with a whole player, when you're defending, they will drop into your own half. I went for 12 for dribbling because I really need to boost that tight possession up, especially as a whole player. And with the ball control, you definitely need that really high as well. And I found if you get the acceleration and the dribbling very close to each other, I find that player feels really good in your hands, like on the control stick. I went for 8 for dexterity to boost his balance and his acceleration. So he's going to be a very quick player across the ground. Acceleration, speed, dribbling, ball control, balance, very nice. And then lower body strength, because I wanted to get advantage or take advantage of that kicking power, because with the +2 manager bonus, you're going to notice a hell of a difference with 85 for kicking power. And like I said, with the sort of the rising shots, the long range shooting, the first time shot, you want to take advantage of that long range shooting. So that is how I would level up Hoeneß. And finally, let's level up Pizarro. So we're going to apply the booster effect, and this is the build I would go for with Pizarro. So 8 for shooting with the +2 manager bonus, that's going to take it up to 90, as does his heading. So those were the first two stats I looked at, shooting and heading. So he's going to have 90 for finishing, 90 for heading, 90 for jump, and 87 for physical contact. With the dexterity, which is going to give him a offensive awareness with the +2 manager bonus, at least 88, which is enough for a fox in the box. Tried it in the past, it's tried it and tested, it's absolutely fine. And when it comes to the dribbling, ball control is important to a fox in the box in my opinion, because sometimes you're going to want to take a touch. So 90 for ball control, he's going to have 88 for tight possession, he's going to have 80 for dribbling. Again, the dribbling, the speed, acceleration doesn't really matter with a fox in the box. When it comes to a fox in the box, they will drop a little bit deep during the early transition of moving from midfield into attack, so they are going to be a little bit deeper than your typical goal poacher. Get the ball, lay it off to your wingers, lay it off to your midfielders, and then just let him do his work inside the box. Generally from crosses, where they're really effective, because their movement is second to none out of all the strikers in that sort of role from crosses, whether it's low crosses or high crosses. Whereas target men seem to be a little bit more stationary, they pick their position and pretty much stay there, whereas fox in the boxes will look to move around. So I think this is actually one of the really exciting builds here for a fox in the box. And like I said, he's got aerial superiority, he's got heading, first time shot. It's just a shame he doesn't have acrobatic finishing, so you may want to try and aim for that as an additional player skill. But he has got super sub as well to come off the bench if you do have Karl-Heinz Rummenigge up front leading your line. Okay, and this is the build I would go for Cherki from Olympique Lyonnais. Now, looking at his player skills down here, we can see that he hasn't got a lot in terms of first time shot, long range shooting, etc. He has got it in his sort of player comm skills, but he isn't really a player that's really going to score a lot of goals for you. Like I said, additional player skills, you're going to look for that one-touch passing if you can. But what this build gives you is plenty of mobility with that high dribbling, the speed acceleration disparity there. That's absolutely perfect. I would always say 6 to 8 points makes a sort of creative playmaker or whole player feel very nice. If you're looking for more maneuverability rather than sort of breaking through the lines with big long strides, and with that high balance as well, that makes him very tricky to get off the ball. And then he had a massive boost to his passing over his shooting, simply with the fact I'm going to make him more of a playmaker rather than a goal scorer, because he already had pretty high low passing stats already. That's why I opted for that along with this player skill. And 8 for lower body strength, again to boost that kicking power, so if you do want to take a shot from range, you are going to be a threat from outside the box. Okay, that is pretty much it for me, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Take care and goodbye.